If you happen to grow up an Eagles fan in the Philadelphia area like I did as a kid, if I mention this simple phrase, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Miracle at the Meadowlands. Yes, 1978, the Giants sitting on a 17-12 lead in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Joe Pisarcik, the quarterback. Eagles with no timeouts. Pisarcik could have just taken a knee, run out the clock. Instead, somebody, who knows who, calls for a running play. Botched handoff. Larry Zonka never gets the ball. Herman Edwards, the former Jets and Chiefs coach, now the ESPN commentator, scoops in, runs it back 26 yards for the TD. Game, set, match, the miracle in the Meadowlands. Well, that's what I thought of last night when I watched the end of that Kansas City-Denver game. There were the Chiefs, already had blown a double-digit lead, 4 turnovers already in the game. Broncos had just scored to force the tie. Hey, get off the field. You're playing at home, and go for overtime where you got a chance. Who? Why? What? Where? How? What are you doing calling the running play with Jamal Charles? What was Jamal Charles going to do? Go 72 yards and get you a touchdown? Ain't going to happen. Was he going to go 50 yards to put you guys into a minute, a last-second field goal attempt? Wasn't going to happen. Get off the field, play in overtime, go for the win then. It doesn't make sense. I mean, we have played 1 week and 1 day's worth of regular season action, and we've had 3 major bonehead plays by coaching staffs here. Pete Carroll, obviously the Super Bowl hangover. I mean, what are you doing with the pooch punt here? Onside kick not a pooch punt, the pooch kick, onside kick at the beginning of overtime on the road at St. Louis. Came back and bit you in the ass, didn't it? The whole Rashid Jennings, hey, take a knee, get into the end zone, don't get in the end zone, let me throw Eli Manning under the bus, Tom Coughlin, what the hell am I thinking? Cost you the game against the Cowboys, right? And then last night, Andy Reid, who I'm sure, after watching years of Andy Reid's press conferences after the game, the loss is on me. We got to do better. We got to do better, with that big walrus mustache here. I can only imagine what he's saying in Kansas City tonight. What a devastating loss for the Chiefs. In baseball, they say that a good manager is worth maybe 5 to 6 wins a year. In football, you don't have those options. You don't have those things. I mean, I look at the Eagles this past Monday night, as I talked about in the Tuesday video report. Hey, great. You protected Sam Bradford and most of your offense and your starters throughout the preseason. You got to game number 1, and then you blew it. There's 15 games left. You blew it because obviously the offense wasn't in sync because, your starting quarterback played 3 series and completed 10 for 10 passes in week 3 of the preseason, and that was it. You can't give away games. You can't miss opportunities like that. Now, from a gambling perspective, as I always like to say, I'm a psychic. I'm a gambler. I wish I was a psychic. Oh, I sense a cover tonight by Florida State. No, listen, you can't forecast turnovers. You can't forecast injuries. You can't factor them into your decision when you're handicapping a game when you're going to put your money on it. And you also can't sit there and go, is Andy Reid going to pull a bonehead play like he did last night with that stupid play call? Damn. I mean, just about every handicapper here at the site was on Kansas City last night. You saw how the game unfolded. You saw a win turn into a loss, and you saw a potential to escape with a push. With a push, right? Especially if your line was 3. Hell, you could have walked away with a win if Kansas City kicked the field goal and won by 3 in overtime, right? Just a devastating game. Now, college football last night, in the game that was promising in terms of helping insomniacs, that game would put you to sleep. Louisville and Clemson. Bobby Petrino, 0-3. Not good. Clemson, not that good either. But hey, for Scott Delaney, it was certainly good because he had a $100 play last night, another max wager release, and you got it at $29, saving $70 off the regular prices. He cashed in with a $100 play on the Louisville Cardinals last night as the 6-point home dog. Listen, the half-price play of the day today is Scott Delaney's $100 college winner, number 4 out of 5 to start the season. It's your Arizona State, New Mexico side. Matches his $100-dimers again on Louisville last night. 2 Fridays ago, he had NC Charlotte in the outright upset as an 8-point dog against Georgia State. You get it for half price. Listen, over the past 4 years with 100 plays in all sports combined, he's 84, 59, and 2. And with 50 dime plays or higher, what I call major wager releases for Scott Delaney, he's made $10 bettors over $38,400 in the past 3 years. You get it for half price simply by using the coupon code COLLEGE. All your other discounts from the various handicappers are over the homepage, including Craig Davis, who's a perfect 5-0 with his college football sides. He has a big side selection tonight on the early game between Boston College and Florida State. I'm going to be talking about both of your college football games today and giving you a couple of free selections as well. The free picks for me, unfortunately, last night, I took the collar. Yes, took the collar, but had gone 6-0 the previous 3 days. 84 and 49 with the complimentary plays over the past 68 days and your free selections in baseball, plus your college football previews coming up in just a moment. Remember, guys, today is the last day to take advantage of those discounts available, courtesy of the charity play of the week winning for the 20th time in 29 weeks, thanks to Brad Wilson on Tuesday night. You can save $125 off the purchase price of any 30-day handicapping package from any handicapper here at the site by using coupon code SAVE125. If you happen to already be in the midst of a long-term package with a handicapper, and let's say you have 7 days left, you would then have 37 days left. You would take $125 off the top purchase price. And if there's any instant rebates, they are applicable as well. Or, listen, here's a great coupon. Save $50 off of any handicapper's 7-day package. That means if he has football tonight, you're getting it. Football on Saturday, football on Sunday, football on Monday night. You're saving $50 off the purchase price of the 7-day package by using coupon code SAVE50. Should you have any questions, you can always contact customer service. That's what they are there for. Let me take a look at your complimentary plays here. I'm going to take a look at the Dodgers, and let's talk about Zach Greinke and the Dodgers' lack of performance, lack of offensive support when you play Greinke on the run line, especially at home. Now, listen, I love the Dodgers tonight, okay? And I love Zach Greinke tonight, too. But the only way you can play this game and go against Jeff Locke is to play it on the run line. And therein lies the problem, because the Dodgers are 5-1 in his last 6 starts, and in only one of those victories have they won by more than 2 runs, which means he has not been a profitable run line play, as he has not been all season long. Listen, you look at his home record this year, 8-1 in 15 home starts with a 1.41 earned run average. 11 of those 15 starts, the Dodgers have won. Only 6 of those starts would have been a run line victory. But I still think it's worth taking a shot and looking at Greinke tonight, taking the Dodgers as a $1.10, $1.15 dog, because you've got a Pittsburgh team that is suddenly reeling after 3 consecutive losses to the Cubbies after they blew a big lead yesterday. You got Jeff Locke going for Pittsburgh, and he is another one of those pitchers. At home, you can consider him. On the road, you got to forget about it. Listen, last start at PNC Park, it was against the Brewers. Good start, 6 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run allowed, 7 strikeouts. Previous 2 starts at Cincinnati and Milwaukee, 8 2/3 innings combined work in those 2 outings, gave up 13 hits, gave up 8 runs. His earned run average at home is 3.46. His earned run average on the road is 5.69. And he has allowed 108 base runners and 68 innings on the road over those 13 starts. 108 base runners and 68 innings. You think every time he goes and takes the ball at the hill and maybe thinks about going into the windup, he has to suddenly work from the stretch because there's a guy at first and there's probably a guy at second waving at him? That's how it goes with him. So I'm going to go with the Dodgers. Again, Pirates just losing 3 or 4 to the Cubbies. And plus, this is kind of a revenge spot, as you know, for the Dodgers, because they lost 3 straight in Pittsburgh back in the first week in August, and they have since won 12 out of 16 at home since that disastrous trip. So I'm going to go with the Dodgers and the run line as your one complimentary play. Your other complimentary play, I'm going to take a shot with the Mets and the rookie Steven Matz, the Long Island native who's making his 5th start overall in the majors, his 3rd start since coming off the disabled list last Friday against Atlanta. On the road, just gave up 1 run in 5 innings. Listen, in his last 3 starts, he's given up 12 hits, 3 runs, and worked a total of 16 1/3 innings. I know the Mets have lost the last 2 games, but you look at this Yankees team right now. So A-Rod's not going to be able to play tonight because there's no DH. It's being played at Citi Field. You look at some of the other bats that are not exactly booming for the Bronx Bombers, and isn't that a lot of alliteration in one single sentence? Chase Headley batting 179 in his last 15 games. Brian McCann batting 194 in his last 10 games. Since the All-Star break, Jacoby Ellsbury and Brett Gardner are each hitting 204. And you got A-Rod out of the lineup. That's 5 big holes, if you ask me, in that lineup. So that's why I'm going to go, even though Tanaka is pitching well for the Yankees here of late, and has a 1.97 earned run average and 5-2 record and 7 career interleague starts. I just think this is a spot to go with the Mets at home with the rookie on the hill. And FYI, Tanaka's only starting on the 4-day rest schedule for the 5th time and for the 2nd straight start as well. Here is the Yankees obviously are trying to catch the Toronto Blue Jays. I just don't think it's going to happen tonight. So again, I'll go with the Dodgers on the run line reluctantly. Can't say I didn't warn you, and I'll take the Mets at home. Now, let's talk about these two college football games. The Boston College game. Boston College last year went into Tallahassee and gave Florida State all it can handle. BC has, in fact, covered the last 2 games in this series. 17-point road dog, lost 20-17 last year, outrushed the Noles in that game, 240-110, but Florida State managed to escape in Tallahassee with the win, with a field goal from 26 yards out with 3 seconds to play. 2 years ago, they were up, Boston College at home, 17-3, and eventually lost 48-34, but did certainly hold on to the cover as a 23.5-point dog, and that was probably the worst performance for Florida State that year en route to their championship season. Now, you take a look at what these two teams have done. Well, Florida State beat up Texas State 59-16, beat up South Florida 34-14. Boston College has played 2 dominant football powerhouses. I think if you were talking high school football. University of Maine, they beat 24-3. How do you only beat the University of Maine 24-3 is beyond me. And then they beat Howard 76-0. So what does that tell me? Absolutely nothing. Listen, what I can tell you about this game, and one of the reasons I'm staying away from it, for Boston College to be successful, they've got to be able to establish the run. They've got to be able to keep Florida State's quick strike offense off the field. I don't know if they can do that. I don't know if they have enough of a good enough passing game to give additional help offensively to a ground game. And listen, that Florida State defense, it's not experienced, but it's very fast and very athletic. That's a tough game. I lean a little toward Florida State, but I can certainly see the argument where it's the biggest game of the year for Boston College. Could it be a 24-20 game? Yes, it could be. Could be 31-17 as well. So lean a little towards Florida State, but not exactly in love with the game. Now, let's talk about Arizona State. Arizona State recovers from that loss to Texas A&M in Houston to open the season 38-17. By barely getting by Cal Poly Slow. Quick nickname of the Cal Poly Slow team, the Mustangs. There you go. In case you happen to be on Jeopardy, you have the answer for tomorrow. They won 35-21 in a game that was tied at 21 midway through the third quarter. As for New Mexico, they opened the season with a 66-0 drubbing of overmatched Mississippi Valley State, and then they lost at home. They lost at home to Tulsa, 40-21. They were outgained at home by the Golden Hurricanes, 600-390 in total yards. In first downs, they were outgained 31-18. Now, it is true that Bob Davie is 8-3 against the spread in his last 11 as a road dog. And with that pistol option attack that Davie is running here, all New Mexico is going to do tonight is run, 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 run. They'll look to keep the clock running, to limit Arizona State's scoring opportunities. And listen, Arizona State won last year 58-23, laying 24 points in Albuquerque. In that game, it was Arizona State that ran the ball relentlessly, 423 yards on the ground. My question here is, you've got a team that has certainly been struggling offensively in the first 2 games. You've got a team in Arizona State that has a huge look-ahead Pac-12 season opener against USC next week. It's a 27.5-point line. I mean, do they get up early and relax? Do they have another lackadaisical effort offensively and only win this game by 24 points? I mean, I lean a little toward New Mexico, but this is not a game you bet on, at least from my perspective. Listen, Delaney, God bless his soul, 109 winner number 4 out of 5, and he has certainly done better in college football than me this season, so what the hell do I know? That's why it's a free pick. That's why he's the half-price play of the day. That'll do it, guys. Best of luck to y'all, and I'll catch you again tomorrow when we do this one more time.